Welcome to Wrestling in Mom's Basement. This is the Monday Night War review show for December 4th, 1995. Of course, I'm Patrick Young. This guy to my right is my co-host, Joe Venuto.
Roll episode 138 came from the Richmond Coliseum again in Richmond, Virginia. A short video, but things all pipe in the show. Vince called Dean Douglas the 15-minute chump.
A way to get him over.
He just had his short Intercontinental ring. Haha. He gets his rematch tonight, and we'll also see Marty and Jannetty go one-on-one with Syscho. We kept things old Bob Holly versus Bruce Bobo with Jim Cornette. And right off the back commentary hyped up the possibility of a Bob Holly upset since he's felt fair amount of success so far. Bobo made sure to get his shit in early on, like the stolen vertical suplex. A nice touches out when he added the best there was, the best there ever will be. Because he's fighting Brad in your house something.
Season's beatings?
Yeah, that's what it goes. Holly is your show of Hope Saucy for falling to the run power slam.
Yeah, fairly quick fare from here. If they're trying to make Bob Holly look like a threat, they failed miserably.
Yeah, the way they were hyped up upset possibility, I thought Bob would have gotten more in, at least. Instead, he lost fairly easily.
Yeah.
Fine enough showcase for a normal contender. On Superstars, Bob Backlund was asked to tackle Bret Hart last week, but instead he slapped the chicken wing on Jim Ross. Jerry Lawler interviews Bob Backlund, who was in the crowd campaigning about the attacks. When Bob hears that his match against Bret Hart next week is non-title, he blows a gasket. He shouts that he wants to be God again. He rambles on until they have to kill his mic. Fatu versus Brooklyn Brawler. The Brawler is one of the most infamous jobbers, if you don't know him. But I don't think he's made too many appearances on Raw so far.
Yeah.
He starts quite hot, but then the tackle turns and make a difference. Fatu puts him away with Splash.
Yeah, pretty much a jobber match for Fatu. I also noticed that he had the BSK beanie on.
Oh, he did?
Yeah.
Oh, well.
So, for those of you that know, it's the Bone Street Crew. It's the clique that was the other clique at the time. That wasn't the clique.
It was Undertaker,
Fatu, Yoko,
and Savio Vega.
Yep.
It was a center squash for Fatu. I happily was kept short. In your house report, Doc Hendricks still on coke. Hype's pay-per-view. He gets quickly called so he can go Bob Backlund. He puts the sound guy in the chicken wing for Cunning's my friend. That's actually pretty great. When they go back to Doc, he announces that Owen Hart's open challenge for In Your House has been answered by Diesel. WWF Intercontinental Championship match, Razor Ramon versus Dean Douglas. I'm also certain this is the final set of tapings for Dean, too. Because I believe he left back to ECW in January of '96. I believe, if I got my history right.
Alright.
Dean's all about the underhand tactics, going to Razor before he removes his vest. Razor still full with slam sends the packing before taking off the vest. Showing off their click love, Razor has Sean's name taped on his boot. It looked really lame.
He's pining for Sean.
As Douglas goes for his most impressive offensive move, a second rope splash, they get to commercial. Return, Dean works and Donald stretch using a reversal leverage. He gets called to act before Razor switches around. Razor hits the Razor's edge and retains.
Yeah, by far the best match on Raw, I think.
Oh, hot thing, yeah.
Yeah, it wasn't anything spectacular, but it was just alright.
Well, it was rather disappointing, given that's the best match on Raw.
Yeah.
I think Dean Douglas is the same for a click has something to do with that, though.
Probably.
I don't think he cured anyone. Neither did Razor for that matter. Mm-hmm. Next week, Bret Hart versus Bob Backlund, and we hear from Shawn Michaels for the first time since the injury. The Brother Love Show. His guest this week is King Mabel, who still gets carried to the ring by peasants.
I feel bad for anyone who had to carry him to the ring.
Yeah, I know.
Because from what Bruce Pritchard says, the thing itself that they have to carry him on is heavy.
Yeah, so it's heavy with my show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you have to carry a 580-pound Mabel on top.
Yeah, they're probably not the best idea for these guys.
Yeah.
Brother Love pronounces Mabel's name as Maybell. Brother Love is his usual self and knows that Sermo is around. He brings out a surprise for Mabel, and it's a druid. The druid is revealed to be Sermo, to what might have been the quietest response I've ever heard in history. They then revealed a casket covered in graffiti. I don't know what the fuck I was watching. The entire segment just sucked horribly.
Yeah, it was awful.
It probably ranks in the bottom 5 of Raw segments up until this point.
Yeah, that was trash.
That's saying something though, considering there was some big King Course at Royal Bowl too.
Yeah.
The Royal Bowl gets hype, though I don't believe that episode's on the network. The Royal Bowl.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Huh.
So we had to skip New Year's Day.
Okay.
Nitro has show now. On the network, the Royal Bowl.
Okay.
So, you find no way to watch it, or just skip it to January. Probably just skip
It's
it.
strange. Why wouldn't they have that episode on?
I don't know. And Marty Jannetty versus Syscho Sid with Ted DiBiase. Sid doesn't pay attention to Marty's entrance, and the Rocker quickly attacks against him. Sorry, hands. He nails a crossbody, but the second time gets caught. I don't know why they ever do that to the big man. Because there's a sim match, we get him plotting away on offense. He chokes on the corner of the wall. Razor's from watching back as Marty gets a quick hook spot that goes nowhere. After commercial break, Sid turns Marty inside out on the clothesline. We get more generic Sid offense until DiBiase gets in some cheap shots outside. Marty no sells and gives chase. This brings out the 1-2-3 KO, kicks him. Razor shows up as well, chasing over the crowd. And Marty Jannetty wins by DQ.
Yeah. Sid is as good as he always is. Which means he wasn't any good, really.
I see some good Sid matches. I guess Shawn Michaels.
Name another good Sid match then.
Shawn Michaels. I'm pretty sure him and Scott Steiner tore up in 2000.
Sid is as good as he always is without Shawn Michaels, just a boring big man. And Marty, he seemed off his game that night.
This was a mess. Sid did his boring offense, Marty didn't bring his best. And then we got all the run-ins and stuff. Sid plays Marty with a powerbomb and they stuff money in his mouth afterwards. Time for the dramatic interview with Shawn Michaels' doctor.
Which I believe is actually WWE director, Karen Selfies.
I believe that was him.
Yeah, it looked like him if it didn't.
Yeah.
If they actually got a doctor, then my apologies.
He said he was watching Raw what happened. If it was a real doctor, he probably wasn't watching Raw.
Yeah. Unless he had a personal relationship with Shawn, which they didn't necessarily
explain.
He
doesn't rule out return for Shawn during his post-concussion issues, but makes it seem like he's damn near life-threatening. They say he basically has brain damage. And chalk up to his efforts in the ring, dating back to the Royal Rumble, Sid's post-Mania attack, and the attack by 9 thugs. This leads into a second video that is laughably bad.
Yeah, with Vince.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Vince narrates saying that we as fans forget that the men in the ring are human. Which one we're filming this? What happened on Raw?
It is fitting, yeah.
But that's a completely different story than what they're going to be selling on this Raw.
Yeah.
This is just bad. Not what happened to Roman. This thing is just bad. Vince then blames the fans for their unquestionable thirst for excitement, and that being why Shawn got hurt. It might be the most over-the-top thing WWE's produced, and that's saying something.
And there's been some over-the-top shit produced.
I don't know what the hell was going on there.
Yeah,
Don't know we go into the video packages like that, but that was the main event of the show.
Yeah, that may have been one of the oddest video packages I've ever seen. Because it started with Todd Pettengill and Kerwin Selfies, the doctor.
The director.
The director doctor. Slash doctor in this aspect. And then just goes into Vince going off on a rant about superstars and how we don't see them as human oftentimes.
And then it's our fault.
Okay.
Nitro, episode 14, from the American West Arena in Phoenix, Arizona. The usual commentary team leads us and promotes the WWE title match tonight. Randy Savage defends against Luger. The winner has into a big triangle match at Starcade as the champion faces Sting and Ric Flair. WWE World Tag Team Championship, Harm Heat with Sister Sherry versus American Meals. A few months ago, American Meals beat Harm Heat to win the belts. The crowd booed the hell out of American Meals, by the way, you know their faces. Harm Heat plays the bigger foes as it takes a few drop kicks for Riggs to get C right down. Then Champions take control and pretty much beat the hell out of Riggs. Colonel Rob Parker strolls out with a gift for Sherry. It seems to be some sort of jewelry. They start to make out to the charge of a reviewer. Harm Heat continues to hold serve until Sherry leaves with Parker. It's revealed that was a ring that he gave her.
It's a pretty big ass box for a ring too.
Yeah, I know.
It was like that big. It was like that big of a box.
Booker gets into an argument with NBA player AC Green in the front row. Bagwell gets the tag and comes out hot. Bishop pulled the Vince here, by the way, and started creaming himself over the muscle that Buff put on his upper body. So now we know where Buff is.
That's where Buff got the push from.
Buff the stuff came from. Now we know where that. Buff the stuff.
Yeah.
They go for Ombus.
That's where the Buff push came in.
They go for Ombus type at the end, leading to Bagwell taking the arm hangover.
Yeah, not a great match. Kind of long. And they decided to throw in Sherry and Colonel Robert Parker's love affair engagement.
And somehow Medusa's involved with that. So.
Yeah, somehow. Yeah, not a good thing all around. The most interesting probably was Sherry and Parker. So.
Yeah, it wasn't a bad match by any means, but not very good enough to stay out. It felt like something to see a house show minus the Sherry and Parker angle. Mean Gene standby with Sting and Luger. Sting puts over their friendship and thinks that Luger could win the title tonight. However, if he does, Sting feels like he has the momentum and expects to win the title himself as Starcade. He won't take it easy even though they're friends. Cure Sal versus Sting. Bishop was sure the first shot at the WWF for run commercial this very moment. Kurosawa seems to have lost the manager, as Parker's probably was Sherry. Kurosawa goes after the arm since he's famous for injuring Hulk's arm in his debut. It didn't last long as Sting turns around, wins with the Scorpion Death Lock.
Yeah, not a very long match. We haven't gotten a long Kurosawa match in quite some time, and honestly, he didn't impress then either, so it's a good thing. I guess it's a good enough showcase for Sting to be on Nitro, while the WWF is on commercial break.
I was hoping for more from a Sting match. Ooh. That's rough. At least we don't have to watch that.
Yeah.
King Kong Wonder versus Mabel's kind of on the network.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was going to watch that.
Because he's going through early Raw 95.
Yeah. Ooh. The Giant with Jimmy Hart, Kevin Salt. Here's probably Starcade, which will feature WCW go up against NJPW. The Giant with Jimmy Hart and Kevin Sullivan versus Scott Norton. And they're going to jump out Scott Norton like a scrubble right? Not that I care. But I'm just saying. The way they hyped him up.
They brought him in from New Japan, and then he's pretty much going to get trounced.
Bischoff announces that next week Hulk Hogan and Sting will team up to take on RNH and Ric Flair and Mason main event. Giant no-sell selling Norton stuff. Norton busts out very impressive at Atomic Tripod. He won't put the Giant beforehand.
Yeah.
So I would like to see Hogan do that.
Yeah. He actually didn't seem like he wavered too with it, to his credit.
Yeah.
He just picked him straight up, walked.
Then Giant ended up hitting choke slam and winning easy fashion.
Yeah. Very odd choice to job Scott Norton out like that. I know he hasn't been the most interesting thing, but you probably still could have given him a little bit more substance to deal with, I guess.
Norton's Atomic Drop was a highlight of the show so far.
Mm-hmm.
On the Nitro premiere, he was involved with Savage, I believe it was.
Yeah,
and
current WCW champion.
And it's now being squashed.
Yep.
Mean by God Gene is out to with Flair since it's the 90s and it's in Phoenix. Charles Barkley comes out with him. Not much here except for Barkley playing over Phoenix and Flair in general. And WCW World Heavyweight Championship, ringside was Lex Luger with Jimmy Hart. Lex was a handshake, but Savage was doing DTA before Austin made it cool. Commentary really hammers home the fact that Savage is hurt. Luger goes about as high works as he ever does with a double action all in favor. But Savage catches him on a right hand in the gut. Inside shows Luger how it's done with its own action off the top. Luger starts working with Savage's injured arm. Savage tries fire with fire, and attacks Luger's arm, wrapping in the guardrail after a commercial break. Savage comes off as a badass with some of his offense at times. He misses the double action off the apron, this time crushes into the guardrail. Back in, Luger stomps on him while surprisingly selling the arm. He even sold it while dropping some sort of elbow and pin.
Yeah.
This is pretty much the best sell job I've ever seen from Luger. He drops some more elbows for two. Again, things go outside where they continue to brawl. Jimmy Hart exposes the turnbuckle earlier and it comes into place. Savage smashes Luger's hand to it. He hits the big elbow, but the referee was knocked down when Luger hit the corner. Hart gets on apron, so Savage brings him in the hard way. Ric Flair runs in and levels Savage with brass knuckles as Flair hilariously poses up the ramp. He backs it to Hogan. Time for classic bleed and Flair. Hart poses Luger on Savage, but Hogan stops the count, leading to a DQ.
An oddly pretty good match. but much better than I thought I could expect from the two. It's more on Lex Luger, actually, and Savage in WCW isn't necessarily known for his
work rate,
ring quality.
Yeah.
But I thought they both did a good job, and so far Savage may be the best WCW champion that we've seen on the Nitros.
Yeah, this is my match of the week.
Yeah, same here.
It was far better than I expected. I thought this was going to be typical Luger fear, where he does a lot of nothing for a set period of time. Instead of selling he battle and working the arm, actually, but smart move due to the injury. The finish wasn't the best, but it's not what you should expect for a TV match.
Yeah.
Hulk Hogan goes to the Lex Luger, where Sting runs in and jumps in the way, taking a right hand. Sting shoves Hogan, but Randy Savage gets in between. Meiji gets in the ring into a commercial break, takes Hogan about touchdown referee while on probation. The Giant and Flair are apparently also on probation. Hogan wants to know what side Sting is on. Sting says that Luger is his best friend and he's trying to right the ship as he disagrees with the Jimmy Hart partnership. Sting isn't the kind of guy to walk out on a friend. Sting says he sometimes doesn't trust Savage either, but he doesn't talk down on him weekly. Hogan ignores that and just says that Savage was right about Luger from the start. Hogan's okay with being Sting's partner, but wants Luger out of his face next week. Sting says he'll do his best to keep it on white next week, and they shake hands. Shouldn't this have led to the Mega Powers versus Sting and Luger?
Yes.
Okay. All these months of build-up, they never did.
Yeah, like I said last week. Where does this storyline actually go?
Luger turns face.
Yeah.
That's it.
Exactly. He went from being face to turning on Hogan and being part of the Dungeon of Doom.
That should end up being like a...
Straight back to Luger being a face.
That should end up being like a main event for like Super Bowl or something. At least a tag match. Yeah, at that point.
Super Bowl was the Alliance and Hulkamania, right?
That was uncensored. Actually, that probably could work there.
Yeah.
We've a little bit of spears.
Exactly. Or, you have pretty much a throwaway biggest show of the year coming up.
Yes, RK, yeah. It could probably just work there.
Yeah, because you decided to make that a World Cup show.
Yeah. And Savage Sting and Flair. And three-way.
Yeah. Cool.
Raw, I'll give a 1.
I'll be slightly nicer. I'll give it a 3.
Okay, it was holy shit, and that was horrible. I thought this was the worst episode of either show so far of the year. Actually, this might have been the worst episode of the year so far for Raw in general. All 3 matches were lackluster or flat out bad. 2 being lackluster and the main event was bad. Fatu had a thing too.
Yeah. There was a Fatu thing. There was a making a difference Fatu.
They had a Brother Love show, which was beyond terrible. And don't get me started on the horrifically bad closing video packages. The only decent thing on the show is Bob Backlund choking on the sound guy. Pulling the chicken wing on the sound guy, rather. Nitro, 6.5.
I'll give it a 6.
It was an enjoyable hour of wrestling. We got a main event that over-delivered. And decent opener. I disagree with the squash Scott Norton. No, I wasn't a fan, but you hype somebody up like that.
Yeah.
The appearance of Charles Barkley didn't do anything. What else happened? But he did make it feel like a celebrity wanting to be part of WCW, so that's good. And I think he was big with TNT to basketball, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
Okay. So I end up finding storyline advancement, and you got a good show. We'll probably be like this for a while. Nitro's probably going to be buried now for a while.
Yeah. Probably.
Yeah. Roll's come off the best show of either... Roll's come off its best show ever. Last week, though. And it arguably has its worst show ever this week.
In the same taping block, too.
Yeah, no, impressive. It sounds like Roll right now that can't keep momentum when they have it in the week.
Yeah.
The Roll right now is way better than that. So we'll give it that.
Yeah.
We'll be back next. We'll be back on Sunday. With the next Monday Night Raw. I'm running the board week 15.
Absolutely.
Week 15, I believe. So say that.
See you then.